of you, or us, or the military. So I throw that out there, looking at for mentoring. It's a lot of stuff that to think about, and we almost do it instinctively, but we have to think about it a whole lot.
I've already said that my command philosophy is better. What can I do to make a positive difference? What can you do to make things better? And one of the arenas is in the lives of our shipmates. And so I've said there's a lot of informal mentoring that goes on a daily basis. You know, just trying to adopt, enact, embody the principles of servant leadership to try to bring people up. And so that's something we all have the opportunity and privilege of doing. Then with our jobs, whatever position you're in, you have the opportunity with more formal, relationships that you do. Your question, Senator McCarty, was, what are you doing mentoring now? And we have an ESC, a board of directors, and I'm trying to mentor. Good Captain LaFavre is going to be an outstanding commanding officer, and so we'll bring him in different situations where. I want him to get that experience of what's this situation like, so that he'll be able to build that in his repertoire, so that when he's a CO, he'll be able to go, hey, I remember when we did that at Naval Hospital Camp Pendleton. Certainly, I like to think that in each of the positions, like with the directors, that there are some that are seeking towards executive medicine. I'm trying to help them see if they're having further interest in pursuing becoming an executive officer and so forth, and trying to mentor them along. So. In short, there are informal and then formal ways that you have as a result of the positions that you have to try to, mentor. And many people have these more intimate mentor-protege relationships that are real formalized. I must confess, I don't have. I have one, but it's not working. And so we have somebody. We have several in Navy medicine that are involved at UCSD, and have a formal protege assigned to me, and we've not yet met. So sometimes the formal things that are sort of forced upon you sometimes don't work so well. But you all, just by people that you come upon every day in your job, you have great opportunities of mentorship that way.
Because that's such an important topic, I'm going to execute a little moderator privilege here, and I want to throw something in. Wonderful question, and what I would like to provide for those, because we've focused on being a mentor, those who are junior officers, let me give you some TTPs. When you are asked to contact a senior officer, it's not a platitude. It means, I want you to contact me. One of the biggest frustrations is that is an attempt to reach out to say, I want to talk to you about your career and what you're doing. So for those in the audience who've believe senior officers are telling them, hey, here's my card. Hey, give me a call. Let me know when you get there once you're settled in. That is true, and they mean that. And they will remember if they do not hear from you, and 4 years later when they see you crossing paths, on the quarterdecks, thank you, sir, and I'm one of those individuals. I get emails from the general every 2 months if he does not hear from me, pretty much. But those are the things you've got to listen to, because right now you believe he just means that, he tells everyone that, or he's got a stack of cards, he's giving everyone a card. No, that's not the case. That's mentorship. That's the start. That's the sign and indicator that someone's reaching out to you and wants to start a relationship. So please, as a junior officer or a more senior officer, when you have a general or a flag officer reach out to you, respond, because that's the start. So I'll open it back up for questions.
Major Taylor, the G1 for First Mardia. I'd first like to recognize that we've got some enlisted Marines in the audience here, and I'd like to recognize them and give them a round of applause for standing here in front of the sea of shiny metal on our collars.
Okay. All right.
Where are you from, Larry?
Illinois, sir.
Okay, what unit are you with?
18S, MCRD.
Oh, all right. You got the word from way down there, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. How about you?
Wow.
Corporal Ramirez, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First Marine Expeditionary Force.
All right, thank you for coming.
You're a MCEP candidate, you said? You're a MCEP?
I am, sir.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. My question. Oh, sorry, sir.
I was just making sure everyone understood his Marine Corps commission, enlisted commission program.
My question for the panel is, well, more of a statement and a question. I had the privilege of going to my first NNOA conference over the summer, and I was just amazed of the span of influence of just professional organizations across the services, whether naval services or Air Force and Army. I just want to, my question for the panel is, can you talk about any professional organizations that you belong to and what influence they've had on you throughout your career?
Okay, all right. Whoever would like to start first. And this will be the last question from the floor, because I know this has been a great session. We've been here for 2 hours, so we'll close after this question.
Life member of Alpha Fraternity, life member of Multi-Foreign Military Association, life member of National Naval Officers Association, life member of VFW, life member of Marine Corps Association. All right, now I'll go back and state each one. For me, what I've gained and benefited from Alpha is that it's about community. You know, we're all in different fraternities, we go through college, but once you get out and you're in graduate level, you see that those programs about scholarship, education, and doing things in the community. And I think that's absolutely essential in terms of our lifestyle and what we do, is that we're about community. As part of the Multi-Foreign Military Association, that's the first African Americans who joined the Marine Corps in the 40s. One, it's about history. I had the opportunity to talk to those Marines who endured things that I couldn't have endured, and accepted that it was not about them, but about what they could do for all of us that sit in here, as they shape the nation, because they truly shape the nation, and they encourage the perseverance, and there's what I call stick-to-itiveness. So to have the opportunity to hang around them and hear those stories means that I will continue their legacy as I pass on those stories to someone else and help them recount. Many of you know that they received a congressional gold medal for their service. So it's been not only enlightening, but just a fabulous experience to have the opportunity to spend time with them. In terms of the National Naval Officers Association, that's just, I've been a member of this organization in excess of 30 years. And I can't think of any better organization to be a part of where, in fact, you are mentoring. And from day one, you're a part of mentoring those who are around you and making a difference in the life of our students. And I can't tell you how many scholarships or scholarship drives or programs that I've been a part of, or going to a church to show the uniform and the flag out in the community so that people in our community see and understand what we're about and what we're about as an organization. So that has been invaluable in terms of being a part of an organization that just reaches out and actively put a scholarship in the hand of a young high school student and say, here you go, this is to help you move towards your goal. VFW and all the others, you know, it's all about the same thing. You know, I sum it up by saying it's about service. And so, in my opinion, the ultimate is not what you do for yourself or what you do for others. And when you realize that you're serving to make life better for someone else, it becomes fulfilling. I'll stop there.
So a much lesser length of associations for me than General Bailey. So a couple of college alumni associations, American Academy of Family Physicians, Uniform Services Academy of Family Physicians. And I guess the biggest benefit that I get from those academies is, more or less a professional education, benefit. And I really have big mentoring relationships in the associations that you have. And I think that that's an inspiration to me that, I would consider seeking out, some organizations like that to become a part of. And I have the application to
We have all
join
your say, I have
this
an
one,
application
and,
for
I
you.
talked to Commander Isaac, and she knows that I'm right ready to go online. This is a tremendous organization.
For myself, I go through and member of the AAMA, American Academy of Medical Administrators, ACGAH, American Conference of Governmental Industrial Hygienists. I have all the service organizations that the General's talking about, the VFW, American Legion, the DAV. But also, I also believe in our youth. And I'm highly involved in the Boy Scouts of America. In my family, I have 2 Eagle Scouts. I've had the opportunity to go through and mentor a lot of scouts and move them up to Eagle Scout. I have one son that's getting ready to do a project for Eagle Scout. I believe in the youth of tomorrow, the youth of today. The youth of today will be us tomorrow. And so I believe that we need to do is get involved in the service organizations that are out there, whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or whatever you have. Get involved in the youth, because the youth need to see strong people of character. People need to see you out there. They need to know that you are a United States Marine, a United States sailor. They need to see that, because they need to have role models that other than athletes that are out there. All of you are role models. They need to see you. And if you're not there, somebody else will fill the gap. It'll be maybe a gangbanger or somebody else, but you can make the difference. So get out there and be part of those young men and women's lives, because they need people like you to help them, stand by them, to be with them. Because we can't afford to have somebody who can put a negative influence on their life and have them spiral down, and now we have to take care of them when they're in prison. You know, I believe in preventive medicine. Prevent the problem. Get involved.
I'm currently involved in currently active and involved in 3 organizations, associations: the Marine Corps Association, AFCEA, Armed Forces Communications and Electronics Association, and NNOA, National Naval Officers Association. Just through mentoring, and we talk about connecting with someone who's been where you want to go, and someone who's going to try to help you mature and grow along the way. So I was taught from the beginning to be involved with your service organization, your service association. I've been involved in MCA for quite a while now, getting those professional journals and staying up to speed with what's going on in the service. And so you're following along the line of the newest technologies or the newest warfighting techniques or tactics, or what is the issue du jour? What are we focusing on as a Marine Expeditionary Force or operating forces? Additionally, I was taught to become a part of an association for your community, or your industry. So AFCEA, for me, as a communicator, as a technician, is where we're discussing advances in technology, but then how they directly relate to the DoD and to their service in particular. And the National Naval Officers Association, I've been affiliated with this organization for a while, but over the past couple of years, when I've decided to become a lot more active, to go on with the conversation that we've been having this evening, because of the mentorship. Again, I could think of no finer organization that's truly committed to the professional development, the personal and the professional development of each one of its members. To having events like this tonight, realizing that you're going to start off as a brand new ensign or second lieutenant, but as you progress through this military journey, there are those who've succeeded. And if you want to be successful, you got to do what successful people have done. You want to be successful, you have to think how successful people think. You want to be successful, you need to communicate with successful people. So I think it's a fantastic organization to be a part of. In addition to those professional organizations, I too am involved in the community. My wife and I have been active in ministry for nearly 20 years now. And everywhere we go, again, we consider ourselves military missionaries, realizing that this set of orders that we get is an opportunity also for us to engage in the community. So we look to be an active part of that community, starting off at one point with youth, with children, youth, teens, young adults. We've put on several seminars with being those positive role models, whether we're in the inner city somewhere or maybe in the rural area, for them to see someone different, for them to see that all we are, we're just a man or a woman like those young people, and that through their diligence and hard work and someone believing in them, that might spark with them what they need to be successful. And now we progress our ministry even to couples and marriage ministry. Again, being strong at home, having strong, healthy, stable families, creating strong communities is going to, we believe, add back to us continuing to be a strong nation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here with final thoughts. What I'd like you to do is to provide the audience with your last final pearls of wisdom, capturing whatever ideas you'd like to leave them with. Sir, you look to be ready.
I can start. I only got about 10 of them, and I wrote them down. So, but in my battalion, we'll have more of this, so I just want to read the highlights of it because of time-wise. Be well-grounded in family, faith, focused ethics, your country, and compassion. Read, we've talked about that. Be personable. Know the 5 W's of each of the people who you have the opportunity to serve with. Walk around, get out of the office. And I like the manage by wandering around philosophy. It really works out pretty good for me. A desk is not myself, and if I can get out away from the desk, that's the only way to go. Persuade rather than coerce. Honesty and integrity are the best policies. Lead by being led. Set goals and be results orientated. Encourage others for them to be innovative, especially today, and we need to get lighter and with limited resources. And lastly, is be available. Be available 24/7. And I always tell everybody, and when I go home at night, I tell the duty, I say, you got my phone number. If you need to get a hold of me, here it is. And I give up my personal cell all the time for people to go through and give me a call. Because I want to, if I'm there for them all the time, even though I know they don't want to call, they'd rather call somebody else, but I'm there. I want to be there for them.
I'm going to leave you with what I share with my senior leaders within the battalion. Every other month when we have new staff and and officers join the battalion, a staff and officer new joins brief. In addition to the one that we have to all the Marines. All right, Marines, welcome to 9th Communication Battalion. Here's your command philosophy. But we pull the staff and the officers aside separately because they're going to be the game changers. They're going to be those that change and truly influence at the company, at the platoon level. So I'm going to leave you with what I tell them. This is what I expect from you as a senior leaders within our battalion. First of all, be professional and excellent. Carry yourself well, know your job, and perform at the highest level, and expect your Marines to do the same. Leadership. Lead from the front. Your Marines are watching. Compassion. Take care of Marines and their families with the same heart. They're all part of our same family. Initiative. Aggressively pursue tasks and mission accomplishment. Have pride and loyalty. Don't bring discredit upon this nation, the Corps, your command, or your family. Think before you act. Teamwork. I don't do drama or politics. We're all on one team with one fight. Solve problems. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Don't bring in problems to your boss. Bring situations with recommended solutions. Remember, remind your Marines who they are. They're part of our legacy that's been built on winning battles and making Marines. This is where I talk about that you are a part of the fabric of our 237-year history for Marines. And don't think that you just showed up in the Marine Corps or the Navy just started. Remember, they came with hundreds of years worth of history, and now you're a part of it. Live up to that legacy. Live up to that heritage. Be called an American Marine, an American sailor. And finally, the last point I will leave with you is recognize and be active within your sphere of influence. You do have a sphere of influence. The set of orders you have, the place where you are, the command where you are right now, there's someone you're supposed to be learning from. And there's someone you're supposed to be teaching and mentoring and leading and guiding.
So I was going to give you 2 points, but since Captain Latexier set the bar and listed 10, and you probably had 20 there, I don't know how many that was. But I'm going to try and do it in 1 minute. So number 10, going down to 1, enjoy yourself. Number 2, we at the Staff Corps, we exist to support and serve the line. You know, I mean, Navy medicine is here to exist to support the mission of the commanders around the world. Display fairness and consistency. Demonstrate optimism. You'll get that from the Shackleton Way book. Number 6, nurture and engage family. Number 5, there's a powerful organization in the Navy called the Chief's Mess. And so depend on the Chief's Mess so we can really get things done. Recognize that is formally and informally, and if I would talk longer about this, I'd talk about the value of recognizing informally. And if you read that book, The World's Most Powerful Leadership Principle, you'll find about that there in chapter 9. Be present. An ounce of presence is worth a ton of email, at least. And so be about it. Number 2, pick your team carefully. That's what's present in the Forbes Sessions book. Good to Great, Jim Collins talks about getting the right people on the bus, getting the right people in the seat on the bus. And then number 1 at the bottom one is create that clear mission and vision.
I have to tell you, I myself, I could go on for hours. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. I think it's David Force by Robin Williams. It's a dear call. Seize the day. You know, I think it's important that you seize the day. That came to me while I was sitting here. But I think what's important is the difference in where you will be today, or where you are today, and where you'll be 5 years from now, will be the people you meet and the books you read. Hang around good people and read good books. That's what I'll say. Balance excellence is important to me. I think it's important that you balance your career, your family, your community, and yourself. And an important lesson I learned when I was at that leadership course is that I spent probably 70% of my time doing this, and rest of the time doing all the others and only 5% on myself. I think you gotta work that so you can get it as close to balance as possible, because if you're taking time for yourself, it gives you an opportunity to reflect. And so when you start looking at yourself, I think it makes a difference. So in terms of self, I think you gotta be able to control yourself. I have this thing called 10 seconds of pissivity. You got 10 seconds to be pissed off around me, and then you need to get over it. If you're upset beyond that, you're lingering, and you're wasting time, and you're wasting my time. So basically, I live in a positive world. I understand negative things happen, but I think it's important that you, as yourself, you shape your own attitude, and so have a very positive attitude. So that's what you need to do for yourself. And then for the career, everybody ought to have a bucket list. You all seen the movie Bucket List. Gotta have your bucket list. And you ought to write down every year, if it's your New Year's resolution or even each month, hey, these are some things I want to do, or 5 things I want to do. I've got to tell you, when I was in infantry, lieutenant, being a division commander was not on my list. It was not on my list. I only wanted to be a company commander. I was a second lieutenant. Man, I can't wait to be a company commander. But I think it's important that you put that bucket list together, and it gives you vision and reach out. And then for a community aspect of it, you've got to dedicate time to the community. When you out in the community, you're giving back. And when you're giving back, you make the nation better, as I said before. And then another piece about family is so important, because they're the ones who love you, back you up. Things get tough. That's where you go, and that's where you should go. So things go wrong, and sometimes will. Seems all uphill. You go and have a strong family. You got the backup that you need, and everything will work out in the best interest of yourself and for an institution that you're a part of. I'm going to close by saying this has been absolutely fantastic. Again, thank you very much for allowing us to have it. In excess of 80 people in here, and I don't know about you, but my other pages were filled up with notes taken from them. See, so I was just jotting down all kind of crazy little notes, and got little stick man and stuff like that as I was drawing on my paper. And the stick man was not you. It was just my way of remembering everything as I was jotting it down. So this has been absolutely fabulous. Thank you for the great questions that you asked and being attentive and paying attention, because I've always felt very comfortable that this nation is going to be okay because of the great people that we have and the great future that I see when I see the energy and creativity and intellectual capability and capacity that's in this room.
Well, thank you very much. First, Captain Iverson, sir, thank you for hosting us, and the staff here at the Naval Hospital for allowing us to come in and use your facilities. And to the entire panel here, why don't we join me in a round of applause for the panelists, please. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our PME. I won't speak for the panelists, but I believe in the spirit of mentorship, it will likely see most of the panelists stay afterward here for a little bit of casual talk and mentorship. And thank you for coming. If you have any questions about the National Naval Officers Association, Camp Pendleton chapter, I am your chapter president. If you are a member, could you please stand just so those know? Okay, so if you're a member, if you're interested in the National Naval Officers Association or more information, just please see one of the members here, and appreciate your hard work. And you guys, please drive safely. We'll see you at your next PME. Thank you. Right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. That was great. That was great. One for